couple things. First, I want to congratulate the new board chair, Julie Bernsick, and vice chair, Marcy Graham. I look forward to their leadership starting in 2020. They continue to move the university forward. If I go back and think of our progress, especially at Mizzou in enrollment, research, retention, numbers are up, numbers are good. We broke ground on the top priority capital project, the Next Gen Institute. We have a new partnership with Siemens Alliance. Our leaders were recognized really as some of the best in the country. President Choi was put on the board of the Association of Public Land Grant Universities. And Cameron Farwell, also the Chief Marketing Communications Officer here, was named to the APLU Communications Executive Committee, so congratulations. It shows great for our school and our system. Marshall Stewart, the Vice Chancellor of Expansion and Engagement, has been terrific. We had our first ever engagement week held. It was in October in Columbia. It was fabulous, and his group did a great job of serving the state, assisted immediately after the devastating storms in the spring. So we do a lot of things at the university that aren't seen maybe and aren't known, and I think those things are very important. Financial outlook is very stable. The board approved a long-term financial plan for 5 years. And then, obviously, and mostly important, we support our students. We've kept the costs very low. We remain one of the lowest public universities in tuition and fees. So it's been a solid year. And, again, congratulations to Curators Bernsick and Curators Graham for next year. Great.
And so I didn't know if Curators Bernsick wanted to take us forward. And we'll start with her, and maybe we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, I'll have more to say in February, but I'm looking forward to just carrying the momentum that we've already built, I think, together by working well as a team forward into 2020 and executing on our strategic priorities that we've previously outlined. Continuing to try to best position ourselves for success in meeting demands and challenges that all universities are facing right now with affordability, enrollment, and modernizing the delivery of education. So it's going to be an exciting year, and I'm honored to have this chance to work with you all.
I was wondering about the mission statement. Were there any specific reasons or motivations for including academic freedom and freedom of expression?
Well, it turns out that academic freedom was part of the mission statement back in the early 90s, and we wanted to revive that, given the importance of academic freedom in our inquiry, in our teaching, and engagement. The freedom of expression is something new, and very few universities have that principle in their mission statement, but we recognize that after passing the Chicago Statement of Freedom of Expression and recognizing that we are a university that values diverse perspectives to help inform our decision and our inquiry, that it would be an opportune time for us to include that principle in there. Mm-hmm.
Who do you see as the audience for those mission statements?
The audience, the mission statement is really an external-facing statement that defines what our principles are in achieving the important goals of a university. But it's also a statement that galvanizes support internally, because it takes hard work to achieve the mission of a university, like the comprehensive universities that we have, and it's part of our system. So it serves as both external and an internal instrument for the university.
To follow up on the discussion about retention and graduation, how do you balance increasing those rates with other goals such as improving access or increasing the rates of student volume? Groups might have more challenges.
Sure, and that's why we have to view this in a very comprehensive way. As you saw, there are so many different ways that a university can move the needle when it comes to retention. If we were to optimize the graduation rate, one may look at perhaps reducing the number of Pell students that we accept, because there's always a disparity between Pell students and non-Pell students. But we believe very strongly in access and opportunity, but we also believe that completion is a key component of that approach. And we currently have about 20% of our students at all 4 universities on average that come from Pell-eligible families. And we recognize that financial concerns is one of the major reasons why students don't persist to graduation. And that's one of the reasons why the board approved our plan to spend $100 million from the UM system, primarily for the Promise and Opportunity scholarships for students who are Pell and near Pell students.
And I'd say this from the board standpoint, it's what President Choi and his staff have done. The chancellors at all campuses, there's been more of a focus on the retention. And the question wasn't about how enrollment goes up, it's more about how do we maintain, how do we graduate the kids that we have at school, and why are some leaving, what happens. And there's been a lot of studies, and I congratulate President Choi on that.
And just as a follow-up,
Mhm.
how do you recognize the schools that are doing better than expected compared to projections versus just looking at the retention rates overall? How do you
Well,
highlight that?
so we do look at, based on the student demographics, what the expected graduation rates are, but we're also not going to settle for those projected numbers. There's no reason why the students that we accept, with the understanding that they have the academic background and the aptitude to complete our program, that we should accept 50% or 70% as a 6-year graduation rate. Some of the top universities have graduation rates in the 85%, public universities, and they have Pell graduation rates that exceed 70%, which will be higher than all of our universities in terms of their overall graduation rate. So we are going to be expecting excellence, but it can only be done by focusing on the problem, making investments, but also having a personalized approach to work with students so that they can continue to be matriculated and then graduate from the university.
The housing and meal rates that were set today,
Mhm.
how much attention was paid to making sure that affordability was
Yes.
considered?
Well, very much so. And I really appreciate the work done by all of the chancellors, the provosts, and the CFOs to ensure that the cost that we are charging, the charges for the students, really met the increases that we expected in food costs, energy costs, and so forth. And the increase on average at Mizzou, the largest university with dorms, was only 0.2%. And if you look at surrounding regions, universities in Illinois or Iowa, they were more in the 3% range. So we're very mindful. We're very mindful of what we charge students. And if we were able to reduce costs because, let's say, food costs were going down, then we would pass on those costs to our students. So we're very mindful of affordability and debt at graduation.
The student representative mentioned that there were some concerns, I think specifically on you, about assistantships and whether they might change in any way under the new budget model. Do you think there's any foundation for that concern?
I'm not sure if there are going to be dramatic changes. I know that there are going to be costs are going to be incurred for graduate students' tuition, which has been provided as waivers. But we also recognize that we have the responsibility, not a responsibility, we have a focus on attracting the best graduate students for their doctoral, master's, as well as professional degrees. So we want to make sure that we incentivize departments to support graduate students.
So it will become the responsibility of the department to provide the solution?
I think the departments will work at the dean's office, and those implementations are probably going to be phased in over the next 3 years.
Okay.
But if there are any concerns that we're going to dramatically reduce our graduate citizenship, I think those are unfounded rumors.
No, and that was, you've gotten everything. My biggest thing was the unfounded rumors, because that's what we've heard as well, and there is no fact base to those rumors at all. I know the provost is working very directly with the deans across the campus to ensure that we're going to have a strong support for graduate citizenships. Yes, we have a new budget model. We're going to have to take a look and see how that affects, and there's a lot of changes that have to occur because of the new budget model, but the commitment to graduate students is very, very strong. So the one thing is that rumor started with a single tweet by someone who was not able to provide an actual public comment. So I want that to be very, very clear that for some reason this has been picked up, and no one has actually been able to get in touch with that individual who provided the tweet to understand where they came up with that information. That's been completely unfair.
I guess, well, I don't have anything else important to ask, but Curator Brunswick, I assume since you praised Curator Sunhold's form of meetings, limiting it to 1 day, you plan to continue that?
I don't have any reason to change it at this point. I'd be open to others' thoughts, but I think the feedback so far that I'm aware of has been very positive. So why change a good thing?
Roger, would you like us to meet for 2 days?
No.
Okay, just asking. I was just
That's what I
asking.
thought, yeah.
Just checking.
Any other questions? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Did anybody join us on the phone at all? Just checking? Okay, I think we're good.
All right.
Thanks to y'all.